Dear learners, now let us understand the key characteristics of the S&OP process, which clearly explain why S&OP is so powerful and widely used in modern organizations. The first and most important characteristic of S&OP is that it bridges the gap between the business plan and the execution plan. In our laptop example, leadership approved demand growth in Q4, and S&OP translated that strategy into real actions like extra shifts, supplier development, and additional storage. The next characteristic is that S&OP is not owned by a single department. It is a shared ownership across demand planning, manufacturing, buying, stores, finance, sales, product management, and business leadership. No single team can run S&OP alone. The third characteristic is that S&OP is a structured monthly cycle, not a one-time exercise. The 5 S&OP steps represent 5 different meetings involving different participants, happening every month in a fixed sequence. The next important characteristic is clear ownership at every step. Each S&OP stage has a defined owner, and without closure and accountability at one step, the next level of decision-making does not begin. For example, supply decisions did not move forward until buying and manufacturing owned their action items. Another key characteristic is that S&OP works on multiple planning horizons. Although we reviewed a full year plan for learning, typical monthly S&OP cycles focus on near-term execution in supply planning and long-term demand planning and product strategy. The next characteristic is that S&OP promotes data-driven decision-making, but balances it with business judgment. In our example, statistical forecasts provided the baseline, while expert inputs helped adjust for promotions and Q4 demand spikes. The next characteristic is scenario-based planning. S&OP encourages teams to evaluate multiple options, such as adding labor, developing suppliers, or leasing warehouses, before selecting the most feasible solution. Another strong characteristic is financial integration. Every supply and demand decision is translated into cost, revenue, and cash flow impact, as seen when a $36,000 investment generated $360,000 in revenue. The next characteristic is strong executive visibility and governance. Through executive review, leaders like Mr. Elmer ensured the plan aligned with business strategy and provided direction for future capacity planning. Another key characteristic is that S&OP creates one version of the truth. One demand plan, one supply plan, and one financially approved plan are followed across the organization. The next characteristic is disciplined execution. Once approved, plans are loaded into ERP systems, ensuring MPS and MRP run with aligned numbers and execution stays synchronized. And finally, the most powerful characteristic of S&OP is that it builds alignment, accountability, and confidence across the business. Everyone knows the plan, owns their actions, and moves in the same direction. In summary, S&OP is not just a planning process, it is a business management rhythm that connects strategy to execution month after month.